Hello everyone, this is a recap of the round number 9, I believe, of Tata Steel tournament in Wijk, where a lot of top grandmasters play. This is like some sort of chess Wimbledon, I mean, right now there is a very big tie for the first place, and one of the guys who kinda tie the first place is Gukesh. There are some other guys like Abdusattorov who's on top, Fedoseev is not so far away, but there was no sole lead. And in this game, Gukesh, who is a current FIDE world champion, faced one of the outsiders, who is Leon Mendonca, who hasn't won any games yet in this tournament, although he made draws against strong opponents, but it's pretty hard to compete against such monsters when you not even 2700. And Gukesh had an opportunity to become the leader of the tournament, got the first place. There will be like how many, like 4 rounds to go, so it's like far to say who will be, I mean too early to say who will be the champion, but let's see how this game went, and did Gukesh manage to become the leader of the tournament. Everything started with e4 move, e5, knight of 3, knight c6, Ruy Lopez or Spanish. Pretty solid opening. Knight of bishop a4, knight f6, castle, and right here there are many systems, some classical systems like bishop e7, playing knight e4, which is open Spanish, some other like lines like b5 and bishop z5, which actually happened in this game, and this line, I mean, at least what I know about it, it has a lot of theory, like the tone of theory, really, like it's like everywhere. There are some lines, I mean, until 40s move, 30s move, it's like really insane. And usually how it goes after a4, which happened in the game, rook b8, sometimes we will play also bishop b7, there is a move, let's say c3, which is the main attempt to punish a black for playing so aggressively, putting the bishop on c5, because normally bishop goes to e7, and undermine the center. Black usually react with d6, white plays d4. Taking right here would be not a good move, it would be kind of serious inaccuracy. Why is it so? Because after this trade-off, we kinda will get more central pawns than our opponent. We will remove the pawn from e5 and it would be good. Therefore black needs to play bishop b6. Modern theory says that a5 is one of the most challenging moves, at least it's been popular for a few years. Don't know how exactly right now it is. And the idea is that taking this pawn is not great, because there can be even some exchange sacrifice with some super rapid attack. That's the reason why people go bishop a7, and after some h3 castle there is some massacre going on. There are a lot of lines, again, as I said, some sacrifices, sometimes, I mean, why, let's say, pawn cannot be taken because there is a bishop d5, and there is a lot of theory, so probably Gukesh thought for a while. As I understand, he didn't really expect it, maybe he didn't look a lot into Leon's preparation and what his like main repertoire is, because, I mean, strong grandmasters usually have several options what to play, and Gukesh played d3, which is a very quiet move, which many people also play in Ruy Lopez, not exactly in this line. There is some even idea playing bishop d2, trying to stop knight a5, some people go it with knight c3, some people play it with c3, but d3 just defends the pawn and not commit anything. We're not fighting for the center, we kinda have a mood to go for a slow play. In the game d6 was played, the most standard move, and right here Gukesh played not really a novelty, but in the mega base I found only 5 games right here, which is bishop g5. This move is kind of standard for, let's say, Italian, and right now it kind of looks like Italian because the bishop on c5. In Ruy Lopez it doesn't happen that often. Of course we create a pin, and in the future we could play knight c3, knight d5, but why normally people don't play it, especially right here, this is not the best move order to do it, because there is an idea of playing h6, g5, and then our bishop will be kicked away, let's say h6, taken too early, because we will give up the bishop pair, and after bishop h4, g5, we cannot sacrifice it because it's just a suicide, because after hg, bishop g5, we cannot apply any more pressure, plus the king is not castled, and this bishop Yeah, pardon me, but like in some mess. It's like it's not doing anything, it's not going anywhere. Knight also doesn't do anything, but the downfall of this move is that there is a hole on f5, and white usually try to bring this knight right here. Yeah, that's a very long journey, I understand, or it's like through d2 f1 e3 f5, or through a3 c2 e3 f5, and it looks like it's not the best choice. Because it's kind of like boosted Italian for black. And maybe it was a preparation of Gukesh because he spent like very little time, so maybe he had some ideas. But I don't know, it like doesn't look like a very reliable way. Although maybe he thought like he's just stronger, he's a world champion, and he needs to win games like Magnus, because usually Magnus is the one who wins the games like that. But right here it's like pretty aggressive position. In the game castle was played, Engine was also pointing out some b4 move, trying to stop knight a3 ever, and after knight bd2, let's say castle, knight c4 with an idea to go here. This bishop can be quite annoying, plus c3 will imply that it will open up this like line, and for example, after bishop takes f3, we kind of tear apart the queen, overloaded. Because the bishop will hang, so it can be very, very problematic, but in the game, black decided not to commit to anything, played castle, which is the most standard move. c3 happened, Gukesh played pretty fast, because he's again going for the setup where he wants to bring the knight with this root. And black spent again little time playing bishop b6. I mean, seems alright, yeah, again, there were some moves like b4 and stuff like that, but, I mean, white and black playing a reasonable moves. This knight goes to g6, because as you notice, this pawn's already advanced, you cannot move them back, unfortunately in chess, pawns do not go backwards, because it could really help a lot for black. So black wanna set up some attack, maybe go knight h7, h5, h4, g4, because this bishop hasn't improved for any beat. White goes on with the plan, knight g6, knight e3. And here was the critical moment, because this knight always annoying, he can kinda go right here, plus d4 somewhere is a threat, and taking this pawn can be very dangerous due to queen d3, and we have a kind of funny pin right here, and the knight on g6 can hang. Okay, so like for example, let's say black plays some random move, d4, knight e4, queen d3. What I'm trying to say is that even after capture we have queen g6, boom, and there is a pin, and yeah, we just winning quite easily. And right here, black chose great plan, bishop e3. I mean, it wasn't great plan, but it was one of the best moves according to the engine. He removes the knight, yeah, he kind of gives up his bishop, who's supposed to be strong, but on the other hand, he removes potential occupation of a 5 square. Plus, he has an opportunity later to start the pawn storm anyway, and this bishop is still not great. Yeah, he at least had like backup plan, emergency exit, but still. And right here, for example, what the best plan was, it was possible to take, which looks like committed move, and right now I understand why black didn't go for it, with an idea that this bishop can barely move. Right here there is the pressure, and it gives black enough time to start attacking, which can be very, very annoying. It looks like there is nothing much right here, but knights jumping, pawns moving, we potentially can create some holes, or maybe play g3 and even sacrifice on h3 if white plays it, so everything can be possible. King g7 was played in the end after all of that, just going away from the pin, and Gukesh plays bishop c2, kinda gambling right here, because he says, okay, you can take my pawn, and then my pawn will hang, and you will be up a pawn, but I'm okay with it, because I have some plan. Honestly speaking, I don't know what the plan was, and normally in such positions, black can very often take it, because this weakness is pretty serious one, and it's quite difficult to win this pawn. And let's say if white plays something like rook a2 or rook b1, we can still try to create an attack. For example, taking the pawn right here is not an option, because there might be knight g4 creating a double threat. And after some bishop a4, even though black has a problem with the pawn structure, and to be more precise, with the pawn on a6. After h4, knight h7, again this plan and invasion on the king side, it could be very, very dangerous. So don't know if, like, probably Gukesh calculated that, he kinda, I mean, expected something, but yeah, with the a pawns, sometimes it can be tricky and black actually can grab them. I once myself also made this mistake, and my opponent also didn't dare to play or ba or something like bishop a2, but actually it was an opportunity. So people very often forget about such pawns, thinking that they are meaningless, but in fact they are pretty important. In the game c5 was played. I don't like this move, because white has a bishop pair. When you have a bishop pair, you want to open up the position, and black basically provokes some maneuvers to open up the position to make the life of white way, way easier. Black, of course, needed somehow to create an attack on the king side. Black strong on the king side, black needs to do something on the king side. Instead, black spread their attention, and it will play a bad joke in the very end, because it looks like black doesn't have a plan, and doesn't matter you're 2600 grandmaster or if you like, I don't know, 400 elo, you need to have a plan. You need to understand how you improve your position. You need to see what you're doing, not like randomly moving pieces around. But I mean, if you 400 rated player, okay, you are still learning. But when you're 2600 grandmaster, you probably need to have a plan, even if you play against the world champion, especially if you play against the world champion. b4, great move, fixing this weakness and preparing an outpost for the rook on a5. Not only for the rook, knight can also get there. And right here, again, I don't understand what Leon is doing. He is taking on b4. Again, position is not changing, it opens up the position even more. Later on, even this bishop can try to be replaced, potentially. More open files, the better it is for white. What instead was better to do, obviously play c4, because you might say, okay, you open up the file right here, but this bishop is not gonna be better anytime soon, and this bishop has nowhere to go, because this pawn is very, very annoying. It's very hard to get rid of it. Black can easily defend it, and the position is actually pretty difficult for white. Maybe white wouldn't take it and play d4 instead, but still the position remains very close, which favors knights, not bishops. In this position, cb happened, queen e7, Gukesh plays rook a5, fine move. d4 was a little bit more precise to create pressure a little bit earlier, but I mean, totally human move. Right here, black of course needed to play h5 once again, taking right here, not working, and this is a counter play, because if right now black will not do something, white's position is just better. They have a bishop pair, they have open files, they have a lot of trump cards, when the best chance of black to create counterplay, to defend actively, is to create an attack on the king side, and there are no, like, problems with it, honestly speaking. There are no, I mean, restrictions, nothing like that, and it's clearly, I mean, good plan, and you can create an attack. And even if you are like Gukesh, such, I mean, amazing player, nobody likes playing under the pressure. But instead, bishop d7 was played. Kind of defending move, overprotecting move without a reason. d4 is played, creating more pressure, trying to open up the position even more. Bishop c6, queen a1, love this move, pretty nice, creating pressure. Right now e5 pawn is hanging, rook e8 is forced, and right here Gukesh kinda made an inaccuracy, because he didn't play exactly precise. What happened in the game? He played bishop b3, and as you might notice, the bishop on c2 was defending the pawn, and right now he's going away. Yeah, he kinda creates a pressure right here, plus it allows the rook to go to a7 and have some follow-up, but actually, if right here black had enough balls, black could play bishop e4, because this pawn is not invincible. And for example, after rook a7, we can play rook b7, and let's say after rook a6 with an idea somewhere to connect all those rooks, after bishop f3, rook f3, and some rook c7, black doesn't have to take with the pawn anymore, black can take with the knight, and this position, I mean, Engine claims that it's equal, and I tend to believe him. Instead, how world champion could play, he could take first. and anyway we want to maybe take at some moment. And right now already after rook a7, rook a6, the same line, we got the connection we really needed. And for example, after bishop e4 we have blow money in rook f6. Idea is that after queen f6 we obviously have two pieces for the rook and the pawn, and not only two pieces, two bishops. Two bishops just menaces, and like rook and two pawns always not enough. I mean, there should be exceptional positions so that the rook with pawns were stronger than bishop pair. Therefore, bishop c2 is forced, and here comes knight e5, sacrificing the knight with an idea to play rook f7, and our queen from the very far distance helps us to create a pin, target everybody, and we manage to get this position where we have attack, because we have opposite color bishops, queen for two rooks, and the king is bare. Great chances to win the game. Instead, Gukesh choosing bishop b3, and Leon believes him. He plays rook a8 instead of taking this pawn, and right now knight e2 already defends it. Right now taking is bad because there is rook f7 check at some stage, rook f8, bishop c2, reinforcing the pawn, preparing bishop d3, and at the same time knight b3 is a good move as well, because then we can place the knight on a5 who will target this bishop. A really nice coordination between pieces, because when you play chess, your pieces should complement each other, they should work as a team, they shouldn't be like, I don't know, one Messi and 10 wooden guys and you will win the game. No, it doesn't work like that. In chess, you need to, I mean, have all the players in the team playing. And right here, like, I don't know, some joke happened. What Black did, Black played knight h5, you can say, okay, what is the joke? He's attacking the bishop. Gukesh plays bishop e1 to keep the rook on the open file, and here comes next move, knight f6 back. That's some grandmaster stuff. I mean, I don't know. Probably Black's trying to say you cannot break my position, but like you already, it's like kind of receiving hits in the face and saying I'm alright. So basically like waiting and do nothing will not help. This is not really a strategy. Of course, still it was like there was a time to play h5. Right now already position getting worse and worse with every step for Black, but it still was a like last resource, last try. But knight h5 here was played. And here actually Gukesh played the move that doesn't do much. He played rook f5, it kind of creates pressure here and here, but the rook was targeting this anyway, and like not so clear how we're gonna increase the pressure, and it kinda gave Black time to regroup, which Black successfully didn't use. What was better to do is to actually play d5, which is a great move, because right now the bishop cannot go to d7, keep on protecting the pawn, because then the rook hangs apparently, and after bishop b7 we kinda can't take the pawn right here because our queen would hang, but we can just play knight b3, bishop d3, and this pawn will fall eventually, plus these knights are not doing anything, bishop isolated from the game. We can say the same about this e1 guy, but he has seen worse things in this game, especially before. And after rook f5 in the game, rook a5 was played, which is a strange move because it creates strong passed pawn for white absolutely with no reason, again opening up the position, and right now this bishop has a clear square where it can go with some sense. Instead, of course, some weighted move like rook c8 would be good, because right now d5 doesn't work because we have discovered attack on the bishop later on, and if something like bishop d3 already we have some time to open some squares for our knights who can target white's bishops. Instead, rook a5, ba, right here I guess that's already game over, because I mean that continues this logic. Black didn't do anything in the game, didn't have a plan, and white just right now starts crushing right here. This is like Gukesh's, I mean, great pressure. He's good at it. He plays d5, kicking away the bishop. He plays rook f2, very good move, because it kind of prepares knight f1, knight g3, and trying to target this weak square. And also rook is not interfering. Again, very good coordination between pieces. The rook can go to any square it wants. And Black, I don't know, again, clueless. Bishop c8 was played, trying maybe to protect a6. Instead, black of course needed to hurry up and play h5, here h4, stopping knight g3 and still having some chances to survive. But after bishop c8, knight f1, queen a3, because we don't want to lose the pawn right here, plus it attacks this pawn, plus prepares bishop b4. Again, very good coordination. Bishop b4, knight e8, knight comes to g3, and black has nothing to do. Black just tied up with some ropes, there is nothing to do. And it's a very heavy time trouble for black already. White has some time, but white kinda looking for the weak spot, and after improving all the pieces to the best squares, right now we have rook c6 threat, which will promote and a6 and rook b6 and will target this pawn, and black makes a mistake in the severe time trouble with the 5 seconds on the clock, and after bishop d6, knight d6, queen d6, it turned out that there is no discovered attack. And even though black has already enough time, because it's after 40's move, and after queen a7, queen e5, not difficult calculations for Gukesh, and he wins because of the spin. So, not the game without mistakes, not ideal, but it's still a victory, and this victory brings Gukesh to the first place, and I mean, congratulations to him. Pretty nice game, interesting approach. His opponent kinda helped out as well by not really having a constant plan, but very nice coordination, very nice pressure, and I hope Leon will still like not give up, continue fighting. That's a great experience. Last year he won the Challengers tournament, and this time he has such great experience against a lot of great masters. And this is all for today. Did you like the game? Maybe you thought that they were a better game, like for example Giri's masterpiece against Prague. They are playing by the moment I'm recording this video, but Giri has huge advantage. And comment down below, I mean, if you liked the video, if you didn't like the video. Also like, and see you in next episodes. Bye.